Moringa may fail not because the plant is weak, but because you are asking too much of a food that is not a drug, and preparing it as if more powder can override a metabolic problem that is still active. That 3 p.m. crash. The puffy fingers. The heaviness in your legs on the stairs. The fog behind the eyes. Those are not messages to guess harder. They are signals to slow down and get precise. If moringa has done nothing for you, the problem may not be the powder alone. It may be the story wrapped around it. People are told blood pressure, fatty liver, and blood sugar are 3 separate storms. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they share one upstream driver. Insulin resistance. A metabolic clog. Sugar traffic backs up. The liver becomes an overloaded sludge filter. The vessels lose flexibility. Pressure rises through stiffer pipes. If your moringa is so healthy, why are you still crashing at 3 p.m.? Here is the part most videos skip. There is no named clinical authority behind many of the strongest moringa claims circulating online. No clear institution. No solid study chain for the dramatic promises. What does exist is a more modest, more honest frame. Moringa contains nutrients and plant compounds, including isothiocyanates in some preparations, that researchers are studying for effects on blood sugar control and inflammation. That is not proof of a cure. It is a reason for careful interest. And there is one quiet mistake in the cup that may matter more than doubling the dose, but first you need to see what the clog is doing inside you. Insulin resistance is not a character flaw. It is a jammed signaling system. Insulin is the gatekeeper key. In a healthy system, the key turns and glucose moves into the cell. Fuel enters the engine. In insulin resistance, the lock gets sticky. The key keeps knocking. The door barely opens. So glucose stays circulating. The pancreas sends more insulin. The traffic thickens. The liver takes the overflow and packs it into fat like an emergency warehouse with no exit ramp. Under the microscope, that overload is not abstract. Fat droplets accumulate inside liver cells. The filter becomes greasy. Inflamed. A smoldering fire in soft tissue. Inflammatory signals spill outward. Blood vessels lose some of their Teflon coating. Nitric oxide, the vessel's lubricant spray, does not do its job as well. Pressure meets friction. The heart pumps against tighter lines. The brain feels it as fog. The hands show it as swelling. The stairs expose it as breathlessness under load. Standard care often targets the downstream gauges. 1 pill for pressure. 1 warning for glucose. 1 note about liver enzymes. Those treatments matter. They save lives. But gauges are not the engine. If the upstream clog remains, the dashboard may look calmer while the machinery still strains. That does not mean ignore medicine. It means understand the architecture. Halfway up a flight of stairs, your legs turn heavy. Your chest feels loaded. You tell yourself you are out of shape. Maybe. But sometimes that sensation is the engine running under poor metabolic compression. Less clean fuel use. More drag. Less reserve. And before you copy any internet protocol, there is one safety detail that matters more if you take blood pressure medication. Timing is not a convenience issue. It is a stability issue. If a plant, a pill, dehydration, and a low-salt day all pull pressure downward together, dizziness is not a theory. It is a fall risk. That warning alone should tell you this is not a miracle food story. It is a caution story. Which brings us to the cup itself, because once you see the clog, the real question is not whether moringa works, but whether you have been preparing it in the one way most likely to miss the target. The practical version is simple. Do not increase the powder before you fix the cup. Read that again. If you want to try moringa as a supportive food, the cautious method is this: use a small amount first. About 1/4 teaspoon daily for the first week. If you tolerate it, increase to 1/2 teaspoon daily in week 2. Anything beyond that, especially twice daily use, belongs in a conversation with your clinician if you take medication or have blood sugar or blood pressure issues. Use warm water, not boiling water. Keep it under about 120 F or 50 C. Let it sit for around 5 minutes. Then add a fat carrier. Not because fat makes it magical. Because some nutrients are absorbed better with fat, and many people use moringa in plain hot water and expect the body to extract everything from a thin, overheated wash. Add 1 teaspoon of olive oil or coconut oil, or 1 tablespoon of full-fat yogurt. Stir hard for 30 seconds so the mixture is fully dispersed. Think of it as pairing the payload with a transport vehicle instead of dumping it at the gate and hoping it walks itself through. The theory here needs restraint. Some sources claim dramatic absorption increases with fat pairing. The exact percentage is not firmly established. What is fair to say is narrower. Heat can alter delicate plant compounds. Fat can help with absorption of fat-soluble nutrients. A careful preparation method is more plausible than simply adding more powder to a blocked routine. If you take blood pressure medication in the morning, do not stack moringa on top of it casually. A commonly repeated rule is to leave at least 4 hours between them. If you take the medication at night, some people place moringa in the morning instead. But that timing advice is not well standardized in the evidence. Confirm it with the clinician who knows your numbers, your kidney function, and your medication list. Do not guess with pressure. If the drink format repels you, there are 2 gentler delivery methods. One is a small smoothie. Use your moringa mixture with 1/2 banana, a handful of greens, and 1 tablespoon coconut oil. The goal is compliance and a fat carrier, not theatrics. Another is mixing moringa into full-fat yogurt, plain curd, or dahi. Spoon it slowly. If taste is the barrier, a very small drizzle of honey may help, but keep it small. Excess sugar pours syrup back into the metabolic clog you are trying to loosen. If olive oil is not how you eat, the principle still holds. Cold-pressed groundnut oil or sesame oil can serve the same role as a fat carrier. This is not about worshipping a Western ingredient. It is about delivery. The body does not care about trends. It cares about usable form. There is also an anti-list. Boiling water. Plain water with no fat. Excess sugar. Chronic sleep deprivation. Sedentary days stretched into weeks. Each one adds grit back into the system. Poor sleep keeps cortisol, the alarm that never stops, echoing through the night. Long sitting tells muscle cells to stop pulling glucose efficiently. Sugar caramelizes proteins like internal rust. You cannot ask a single plant to offset 5 active saboteurs. And if you are skeptical, keep that skepticism. You should.